Welcome back, everybody. And we're going to be talking about another book in translation here today. And if you sit down and you open a book and think you're about to read a story, and that story turns around and looks you dead in the face and says, you, that's second person narration when the book addresses the reader as you. A famous example is J. McInerney's Bright Lights, Big City, which is also written in the second person. Now, imagine a novel that uses that you voice to make the act of reading the actual adventure. That's Italo Calvino's If on a Winter's Night's a Traveler. And today I'm going to tell you without spoilers why this book is great, why you might want to read it, and a few fast facts so you can flex in the comments. And the reason this easy to do spoiler free is because the premise, well, that's the experience of the book. Um, so let me go ahead and let's pop open the screen share so you can look at a book instead of me, because that's always the better option. Let's see, share screen. Do, 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 do. Full screen, yes. Maybe. Can we do it? Can we do it, guys? Share, yeah. All right. And here's the book. This is going to be on Penguin Random House instead of bookshop.org. This is probably my preferred version if you're going to read it. It's translated by William Weaver, clocks in at 304 pages, and for 26 bucks. That's not bad. You got some other retailers if you want. I don't believe the hardback version is available on Bookshop, but let's open this one just to double check ourselves. Oh, I lied. We'll be using the bookshop.org link in the descriptions now. Haha. So, yeah, let me go back over here. And the novel by Italo Calvino, published in 1979 in Italian as, forgive me, please. Se una notte di Averno un vagaratore. Yep, that's what you're going to get out of me today, and I apologize to the Italian community who I've offended greatly, I am sure. Um, the original publisher was Ionadia or Turin. The best known English version is translated by William Weaver, and the English publication date is commonly listed as 1981. So, yes, it's a translator book, and translation matters here because Calvino's whole thing is precision, play, and voice. So, I'm going to try to do this in a spoiler free premise of what the book is, and here's the setup. The story is about a reader trying to read a book called If on a Winter's Night a Traveler. And the structure is, well, that's pretty much the hook. Part of the book follows you, the reader, in second person, like the book is narrating you reading life back to you. And if you've ever seen The Never Ending Story, they try to show you how that works. And Sebastian looks like he's having a fun time. Anyway, interleaved with that are the openings of different novels, first chapters in totally different styles and genres. That's not a spoiler. That's pretty much the engine of, yeah, this is how this book works. What second person actually does and why it's not just a gimmick. And second person is rare because it's risky. If it's done badly, it feels bossy. You do this, you feel that, and you're like, no, I don't. Stop it. But when it works, it creates a weird kind of intimacy. It pulls you into the book not as a spectator, but as a participant. And Calvino uses that to do something sneaky. He makes you notice your own habits as a reader, the little rituals, the expectation, the hunger for what happens next. The way you trust a book until you don't. This is a novel that doesn't just tell a story, it studies the act of storytelling while it's happening. Um, and why the book I think is generally great, and the three big reasons are it's playful but sharp. Britannica does describe it as using shifting structures, a succession of tales, and different points of view to probe change, coincidence, chance, and the interdependence of fiction and reality. I know that sounds academic until you're reading it and realize it's fun, it's mischievous, it's the book that keeps winking at you without becoming smug. And I kind of agree with that academic assessment. Second reason, it bottles the best part of reading. You know the high of a first chapter, the promise, the mood, the moment you think, oh, this is going to be good. This book keeps returning you to that feeling because it keeps handling your beginnings, new doors, and new vibes. Uh, the third reason, I think it makes you feel seen. Now, not in a self help kind of way, in a Calvino understands the drama of wanting a story to deliver way. It's basically saying reading isn't passive, reading is an event. And that may make you feel a little uncomfortable, but once you let that settle in, I think you'll agree with me. So who should read it and who probably shouldn't read it? People I recommend that should read it, if you love books about books, libraries, bookstores, publishing, and the weird social life of stories, yep, that's me. You like clever structure but still want momentum. You've ever been in a reading slump and need something that keeps flipping the table in a good way. Yep, that's me. So that's why I like it. And if you like that, then you'll probably like it. Now, you might bounce off it if you only want one continuous plot line with one cast and one tone, or you hate being addressed by a book. And that's fine. This is not a book you pick because you want comfort. This is a book you pick because you want your brain to light up. But I can totally understand if it, I don't know, like nails on a chalkboard to you, it's not your format of reading, then yeah, you may want to skip this one. Why it's especially worth reading in translation. Let's talk about translation for a second, because this is the Books on Translation series. Uh, because this is a translated book you can use to sell translation to people who don't usually read translated stuff. The English version is translated by William Weaver, and what I love about using this as the translation pick is the book is obsessed with language, voice, style, the mechanics of fiction, so translation isn't invisible here. It's actually part of the conversation. The book is having about stories and how stories travel. If you never think about translation, this book quietly convinces you that a way a sentence is built actually matters. Um, so reading this feels like walking into a hallway of doors, and every door opens into a different movie trailer. One door, noir tension. Another, political dread. Another, romance adjacent longing. Another, pure atmosphere. Then you think back with you, the reader, dealing with the fact that stories have consequences on your time, your attention, your hope, your patience. It's not chaotic, it's well orchestrated. Which is why the book has the reputation it has. It's experimental, yes, but it's controlled. Um, so we're gonna go over two myths and two facts here. Um, Postmodern means confusing. Truth. Postmodern often just means the book isn't aware it's a book. This novel is self-aware, but it also is readable and propulsive. I mean, even Wikipedia even categorizes it as a postmodern novel, which is a turnoff for most folks. But I still would recommend you picking this up because, yeah, a book about reading can't be emotional. Truth. Calvino treats living and reading as interchangeable metaphors. So, yeah, there's brainy stuff here, but it lands because reading is emotional. The desire for a story and means something is, well, emotional. Um, Two tips that can make the book click. Tip one, don't try to solve it. Read it like a curated playlist. Let the shifts be the point. Um, the description of shifting structures and points of view is your permission slip. And second, read it in chunks. It's the kind of book that rewards stopping after a section going, wait, what did that just do to me? This isn't a sprint novel, it's a taste and linger novel. So if you're the must complete 1,000 books in a year type of person, probably not for you. Sorry. It's one of those where you need to stop and think a minute books. So, um, so again, our author is Italo Calvino. Original title that I'll butcher once more for the lulls in the comments is Se una notte d'inverno un vericatore, published in 1979. And again, the original publisher was Turin or Anadi, and English translators from William Weaver. Um, the the publishing date is from 81. It is a frame narrative, alternate second person reader chapters with openings from, well, different novels. So, yeah, let me stop the screen share here. And if you truly want a book that reminds you why reading is so addictive, why a story can feel like a portal, well, this is a classic example of just that. It's going to um, have structures and things that are familiar but yet different. And if you ever wanted to feel a novel respond to you like it's watching you read it, this is the cleanest version of that experience that I could know or recommend for you to know. And if you've read it, did it feel like a puzzle or like a celebration? If you haven't, tell me what's your favorite first chapter of any book is, because this book is basically a shrine to that feeling. So let me know in the comments your thoughts on the book. And yeah, I think that's going to do it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe because that's cool. And I like cool people, and you would be cool too. Who doesn't want to be cool? I also have a link to our public Discord and our Patreon, which is a book club essentially, where we read together, talk about what we're reading. And yeah, that's down in the description, as well as the link for the bookshop.org book that we found. Um, and yeah, I think that's going to do it for today. And as always, keep on booking on.